Audra.
Mother, why can't Bill Turner come over?
You may invite him tomorrow, and I'll go get dressed.
Never throw yourself at a man, sis.
Especially when you've only known for 48 hours.
I'm not throwing myself at anyone. Why all this fuss about an old logging foreman?
Well, the day one of your heartthrobs makes as much money for this family as Matt Todman, I will personally make a fuss over it.
I know. Wait till the guests arrive.
Where's Heath?
Oh, last time I saw him, he was out in Smithy cleaning rifles.
Well, now, the least we can offer Mr. and Mrs. Todman is the courtesy of our home with the entire family present.
We make over him too much. He's liable to ask for a raise.
Nick, if he can do with that lumber camp what he claims he can do, I think he's entitled to a percentage.
Oh, sounds like them now.
Well, Matt, it's been a long time. Welcome to the rest.
Nice to see you.
Matt, have a good trip.
Nick, fine, yes, fine.
There we are.
How nice to have you.
Oh, it's so nice to have me here.
You're a stable horse, huh?
Well, it'll be a change for you from the high country. Besides, while the men are talking business, we can do some shopping in Stockton.
Yes, I'd like that very
I'm
much.
sure you'd like to freshen up.
I would, thank you.
Sit down, Matt.
Well, now, Matt, how about a dust cutter after that long trip, huh?
Sounds fine.
You name it, we got.
Whiskey's fine.
All right.
All right, Matt. Let's hear it.
All right. Oxen and horses take half a day to haul cut logs down to the river. Now, a flume from the highest cutting stand will bring the logs down in less than an hour.
A flume?
If you give me enough money, time, and men, I'll give you a layout that'll make you one of the biggest lumber producers in California.
What'll it cost?
50,000 or so.
What?
It'll return that 5 times over in 2 years.
Now, you think pretty big, Matt.
Well, you're the one who's been asking for ways to increase production.
Tell me, have you ever handled anything like this before?
No.
You think you can handle this?
If I didn't, I wouldn't be here.
George, put these away in the gun room for me.
Oh, Heath, come in a moment. There's someone I'd like you to meet. Matt Todman, this is my brother Heath.
Heath, what's gotten into you?
That's Matt Bentell. Wirtz of Andersonville and Matt Bentell of Carterson Prison. They were two of a kind. What that animal did to us prisoners, I swore if I ever found him again, I'd kill him. 7 months in Carterson Prison. You know that. 7 months and the hell Bentell made.
Heath, the war has been over for years.
Well, not long enough to forget.
Maybe you don't want to forget.
Jared, well, maybe you can tell me how to forget maggoty food and putrid water and floggings for complaining about it. Or how to forget friends who died from exposure and other friends who died because medical help was refused.
I'm not saying I could forget, but I wouldn't be out to murder Todman.
His name is Bentell.
All right, Bentell. But what will killing him do besides get you hanged?
Don't stand there and defend him to me.
I'm not defending him, I'm protecting you.
Jared, there were 740 of us fighting in New Mexico. Almost half ended up in Carterson. Less than 100 walked out when the war was over. There's not a jury in the state that would hang me.
That's the important thing, whether or not you'd hang for murder.
That seems to be Jared's concern.
Well, it's not mine. I pray to God it isn't in any of my sons to commit cold, deliberate murder.
And that's what it would be, Heath. Cold, calculated, deliberate murder. Now, you can put any other word to it you want, but that's what it would be.
Well, for a start, how about the word justice? Word's paid for what he did at Andersonville. He was hanged.
Yes, he was hanged, but by the government, and after a trial. Bentell was brought up on the same charges and cleared.
You just don't understand, do you? No one could understand that hadn't lived through a place like Carterson.
We can understand, but when does the hate end? When your father was killed, I hated as passionately as you do right now. Oh, believe me, I did. And for just as vivid and long-lasting a reason as you... Well, I stopped hating. I don't know if I'll ever really forgive, but I stopped hating because of what it was doing to me. Because I had too much around me to love to go on hating. Look around you, Heath. Matt Bentell is upstairs in the guest room. Is it really in you to go up there and kill him?
The breeding stock at Santa Ynez. Ride down this afternoon and take a look at it.
Nice day, wasn't it?
It's ironic. The war's been over for years, and now it's Matt Bentell who's a prisoner of Carterson.
And his poor wife. You only have to look at her to know what she's been through all these years.
Matt Bentell, working for us. Well, as soon as we pay him off, he won't be.
Nick, do you really think that firing him will solve anything?
Well, do we have any other choice?
Perhaps we have.
What are you thinking about, Jared?
But it's hard to hate a man when you really get to know him.
Mrs. Barkley, you can contact me at the hotel in Stockton if you'd like to look over the accounts.
I want to apologize to you for my son. I understand why he did it. I won't say I don't sympathize with him, but...
I appreciate your frankness.
Matt, we'd like you to stay on, if you want to.
I'm sure you'd like to talk it over.
They asked me to stay.
Oh, you're not going to.
For the first time, it's our choice.
It's our choice, but... She wants you to stay because she needs you to run
For
her...
whatever reason, it's our choice.
And then another Heath Barkley will try to kill you?
It means a place to settle in.
Oh.
Means a home.
I don't want a home if it means any harm to you.
I want it for you.
Oh, Matthew, please.
We're staying.
It's an ambitious undertaking. No one can deny that.
And an expensive one.
Seems to me an awful lot of money to tie up on a gamble that we might finish by winter, among other reasons.
I can finish it and have logs started down by the first snow.
Nick, it's the only way we can get these upper timber stands to pay off.
All right. Now, considering everything, can we get enough men that'll work for Matt Bentell?
That'll be your problem. You hire them, I'll handle them and work them.
All right. But you're going to need help, Matt.
Heath will go with you.
You have to go.
The devil I will.
Just how quickly do you think word of his being here will get around?
Well, I hope it's mighty quick.
And do you know what that would mean?
Yes, that somebody will try to balance the scales.
Exactly, and if they do, it'll be because of you.
So you want me to go with him and hold his hand? Well, why doesn't Nick go?
Because you were at Carterson. And you're the one that might recognize the man if he tried to kill him.
You go with him. You go with him. You eat with him. You work with him. You live with him. And you pray to God to rid yourself of the hate that's inside you. Because unless you do, that hate will eventually destroy you. Heath, do you want to hate so? Do you want the memory of Carterson prison to gnaw at you forever? What we're asking you to do isn't supposed to be easy. Show us what you inherited from your father. Show us some of Tom Barkley's guts.
Oh, we should be at camp in time for supper.
I've been in this saddle since sunup. Can't you move any faster?
If you'd like to ride in the buggy, I'll trade with you.
Just move out.
Barkley, there's something you'd best keep in mind. When I agreed to stay on here, it was with the understanding that nothing was to change. I still boss this operation.
That was made clear enough for my family before we left.
Just so you don't forget.
That's my trouble, Bentell. I can't forget.
Be back directly. All right, you men over here, I want to talk to you. Now, for those of you who are wondering, we got the go-ahead to build the flume. Hey! That's going to mean a little more money for you, and a lot more work. Now, we're going to have some more men coming up as soon as they're hired. Now, in case you're wondering, this is Heath Barkley over here, one of the owners. Came up to look things over. And to look after me. Now, there are some who think that might be necessary after I tell you the rest of what I have to say. For the past year, you've known me as Todman. My name is Bentell. Matt Bentell. Anyone who finds that name unfamiliar, I was commander of Carterson Prison during the war. Anyone who'd like to get paid off can do so when they're finished eating. The rest of you can look forward to things being the same as they always were. That means long hours, plenty of hard work.
I need this job, but not so much as to work with the likes of Matt Bentell.
You know where the pay office is, Donlin?
I should. I worked here a long time before you came.
Anybody else? We'll start clearing for the flume tomorrow.
Bentell.
You listen to me close, boy. Because I'm going to tell you one time only. Now that we're in camp, the name is Mr. Bentell. Or Matt, either one. I don't take that attitude from the others. I surely won't take it from you.
It's quite a chance you took, telling them who you are.
I'm through with hiding. They'll find out soon enough when the new men show up.
You better start growing eyes in the back of your head.
That's why you're here, isn't it? To protect my back?
Well, you're not making it any easier.
I didn't intend to make things easier.
How can you be sure I won't be looking the other way when...
I guess that's something you'll just have to fight out with your own conscience all by yourself. Isn't it?
thought the Barkleys usually did their hiring out of Stockton.
They've had lots of trouble. Ain't you read?
Read what? Matt Bentell. So that's what happened to him.
That's the reason the Barkleys are down here in the desert trying to hire. Ain't many people want to truck with Matt Bentell.
Makes no difference to me. Job is a job as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you won't have any trouble getting hired on. You ain't got much competition.
For what I care who is boss.
Seems to make a difference to quite a few others.
Pollock need work. His need save money for to bring his Nichka to America.
All right, $20 a month and keep.
That is fine for Pollock.
Sign here or make your mark.
Barkley,
That's right.
I hear you hiring men.
You want to sign on?
We quit 3 days ago.
I see. And now you want everybody to know why, is that it?
I'm going to make sure they do know.
You're a little late, friend. There's something known as the newspaper. It's got the whole story.
Well, I want you to know what I think of you and your family for hiring the likes of Matt Bentell.
I don't give a hoot what you think. The war's over. Many thanks, boys. You just made yourself kind of unpopular in these parts.
It's no matter. We was figuring on leaving town pretty soon anyway.
Yeah, we're going to do some logging up in timber country, Mr. Barkley.
You don't say.
That is, unless you filled that tally sheet already.
Well, now, I'm grateful to you on 2 counts. Well, the truth of the matter is, I got to get Romeo out of circulation here for a while.
Oh.
Game leg and all. Little brother Gil here is just too much for hand with the ladies.
Well, his leg didn't seem to bother his fighting any. I don't see why it should bother his logging. Sign on, boys.
So the new men are here?
How many?
A dozen or so.
Your brother's gonna have to do better than that if he expects to get that flume finished by fall.
Well, under the existing circumstances, I think he's doing all right.
Where are they?
The mess tent.
First man. Name?
Anton Pollock.
Pollock, you ever work in the lumber camp?
No, sir.
You handle an axe?
Sure. In Romania, I use axe all the time. Got plenty colors from work hard.
Get the name.
I'll put him in Jim McCurn's crib.
Next man. Name?
Morley.
Howdy, Abe.
Heath, been a long time since Carson City.
We can't use you, Abe.
Now, what do you mean you can't use me?
You had a brother in Carson.
So?
So he died there. You told me all about it.
That's right. You told me a few things about that place yourself.
We can't use you, Abe.
Next.
Now, look, I came a long way.
I said next. All right, move along.
Hello, Heath. This sure is a day for being a small world, ain't it?
Same goes for you as Morley, Condon.
Well, hold on, Heath. We need to work.
And we need the men, but you two won't do.
Put them in that construction camp.
They were at Carterson. We were in New Mexico together.
Send them on.
Yes, sir, small world. Don't you fret none about trouble from us. We don't mean no harm to Mr. Bentell here.
It was Mr. Bentell's doing. I still got my leg. It's a stiff one, but it's flesh and bone and blood instead of wood, thanks to Mr. Bentell and the Reb surgeon that saved it.
Next.
Well, things are beginning to take shape.
This section should have been finished last week.
Well, with the new men, we'll pick up some lost time.
Time lost is lost for good.
Well, why don't you try pushing them a little harder?
I might have to, unless I get 20 or 30 more. I can't take any more men off that cutting line.
How do you suggest we get them?
That's not my concern.
You know, Jared's offering top wages.
Then he should start offering bonuses.
You're pretty free with Barkley money.
My interest is in getting this flume built.
Mr. Barkley, just a minute.
Now, go on, say it.
Go get my horse.
There were a lot of us at Carterson. I wouldn't have missed.
Get my horse.
Well, it looks like 3 ladies.
Looks like easy game for to play. Well, it's a sociable way to get to know a man, Pollock.
There's always room for a pigeon. Rules of the game.
Pigeon?
Well, come on, sit down.
He's no feathers on Pollock. He's friendly bunch.
Yep.
Strange to think somebody here may be his person who tried to kill Mr. Bentell, huh? Everybody is talking about it.
It's not so strange.
You cannot stop it from happening, Mr. Barkley.
Talk like that could cost you your job, you know.
He is no concern for Pollock. Mr. Bentell is hated man. Many hate him. He will die.
Night, Barkley.
Good night.
Matthew,
Yes, dear.
it's getting late.
Hey, Polly! Take a hitch around that spike, will you? Sure. How soon will you tie in with that next section?
I figure we should join up tomorrow sometime.
All right. Let's get back to work.
You know, I sure could use some extra men around here.
I could use a lot more work out of the ones you've got.
I'm driving them as hard as they can go.
Every man's got a notch or two more in him. Now, if you can't get the work out, maybe somebody else can.
Yes, sir.
Saved your leg.
You think that makes up for everything?
Well, Heath, what now?
He ain't gonna turn us in.
What makes you so sure?
Because you remember, same as we do.
From what we heard, you tried to kill him yourself.
What he done the night of the escape with Tim sticks in your craw, same as it does ours.
18 men, Heath. 18 men shot down in cold blood. And you was almost one of them.
I could have been one of them, too, if it hadn't been for my leg. So could Aaron if he hadn't stayed with me, but we weren't one of them. We lived. And we swore someday he'd pay for what he did.
You swore you'd pay, too.
You swore on the blood of the men you fought beside he'd pay.
Well, Heath, what about it?
How long is this going to keep up?
As long as men have memories.
Why won't they leave us alone?
Because I was chosen to serve as commander of Carterson Prison instead of a soldier in the field.
Oh, Matt, soldier. Oh, for 8 years, I've heard stories about the Union soldiers and the Confederate soldiers and their devotion to the cause and their sacrifices and their courage. Doesn't anybody know the sacrifices and courage it took for you to do the things you had to do? And people crying over the memories of the war.
People only cry over the sorrows they know.
But look at what the war did to you.
No, don't.
Oh, Matt. If only they could know the man I'm married to. The man who's so kind and gentle and gay and laughs so warmly.
You are brave men, Mr. Barkley, to save Mr. Bentell's life today. But these men of Carterson Prison, will not forget their hate.
Mr. Barkley. Mr. Barkley,
What is it?
I came to...
You came to what, Mrs. Bentell?
I came to thank you for saving my husband's life.
Well, it was the sorriest thing I've ever done. To make sure it doesn't happen again, I'm pulling out.
Why did I think it all could change?
Mrs. Bentell, your husband started it all the day he took over that prison camp. It'll never change.
My husband was more of a prisoner at Carterson than you or any of the others.
Held there by armed guards, with orders to shoot if he stepped over the deadline.
Held there by his duty.
And his duty was to put us in chains and starve us and beat us and treat us like animals.
The war was almost over. The South was losing. Now, what did you expect him to do? Give what little food there was to you instead of to his own men? He had to keep you prisoner any way he could. But how did you treat one another, you prisoners? You fought like animals over what food there was, over scraps of clothing, over a place to sleep. You even fought over a place to die.
You've got all the answers, haven't you?
All I have is the other side of the story.
Well, tell me the other side of the ambush, where 18 men were shot down in cold blood.
That night. I remember what that did to my husband.
To your husband?
Part of him died with those men. He didn't want that to happen.
He let 18 men crawl out of that tunnel. He waited until they got into the open before he gave the orders to open fire.
He called out for them to go back. He waited until the last moment, and then he opened fire.
I was there. I was in that tunnel. I didn't hear anybody calling out.
You didn't hear anybody calling out because you were in the tunnel. But if you had heard him yelling out, would you have surrendered?
No.
Neither did the others, and that's why they died.
Like I said, you got answers for it all, haven't you?
Yes. Enough to advise you to save some of your anger for the man who informed on the men who were trying to escape. Yes. One of your fellow prisoners informed. I don't know who it was. I never found out.
That's convenient, isn't it?
Oh! Oh, I don't care whether you believe me or not. This is the first time that I've ever spoken of this to anybody. And it doesn't make any difference whether you believe me or not. Just speaking of it has made it easier for me.
Barkley.
Matthew.
Where are the condoms?
I ran them off Barkley Lane.
You think they've gone?
I do. But there'll be somebody else. Who was the informer that night at Carterson Prison? Well?
Aaron Condon.
But you saved his brother's leg. Why would
He came to me with a deal.
He told me about the prison break on the condition that I'd help his brother.
You squeezed every opportunity, didn't you?
My job was to run Carterson as best I could.
And nothing was too low? Even using medical help to get what you wanted?
I had one post doctor only. Medical supplies were practically non-existent. What I had, I used as fairly as I could.
And you used it like a gun on the Condons.
I saw nothing wrong with using whatever means I had to get information that might keep the enemy from escaping, from possibly killing once they did escape. That's why the Condons wanted me dead.
Why?
But somehow the Condons have the idea that I might expose them.
If you were going to do that, you would have long ago. Try again.
How does one carry the deaths of 18 comrades on their conscience?
You want to stay? Stay. I'm clearing out. Consider myself lucky Heath let us go.
He let us go so we can finish our job. He wants Bentell dead much as we do.
By now, Bentell's told him about it.
Well, come on. Let's hear you put it into words.
You would have died otherwise, and you know it.
So I'm alive to carry this stink of your cowardice.
I didn't hear no argument from you at Carterson.
Well, you're getting one now. We ain't leaving.
You'll forget it.
I won't forget it. I can't. Not till Matt Bentell is dead.
Our guns are back at camp. We couldn't get within shooting distance of him now anyway.
We could if there was enough confusion. I'd kill him with my own bare hands.
Fire? No.
You think of a better way to start confusion in timber country?
Don't know whether he believed me or not.
Oh, does it make that much difference?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, Matt, but I can't feel a thing for him.
That's because you have only one memory of the war. So has he, and that memory's been shaken. Feel sorry for him.
I love you, Matthew Bentell.
George, get the wagon.
Fire on the east slope! Fire! Let's go! Fire!
How bad is it?
Building fast.
All right, get some more men.
Right.
Don't let it burn. It doesn't mean anything
Don't
Stay in the house.
They don't mean anything
Stay in
to
the
us.
house. And...
Matt.
All right, move it.
No, let it go. Let
Take some men down to the lower slope. It's still spreading.
Here, sir. Let's go.
Push on! Have to get him out of the smoke!
Let's get out of here. I told you he was crazy for starting a fire.
I want Bentell! How are you boys doing?
We got it under control further up the slope.
Still out of control in the East Ridge? The only way we're going to stop it is with nitro. We'll blow a fire break. A dozen bottles set along that fire line. The heat of the fire will set it off.
We still got a little time before it reaches that north stand.
All right, let's go. Bottles are held firm and this is cool enough. Should be all right. If it's dropped, I'll see you in Kingdom Come.
Just drive, Bentell.
Goes up at 500 degrees. Set it and clear out fast.
Die, Barkley. You won't stop me this time.
You throw that and we'll all die.
I said put it back. I'm gonna kill you, Bentell. Why didn't you let me die instead of killing all those others?
Get your brother out of there! Gil!
Put that down, or we'll all die.
I don't care. I'm gonna kill him.
No, Gil. Now be reasonable. We gotta get out of here or we're gonna burn!
I don't care. I'm gonna kill him. Kill what's out of there!
Fire going.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Now, that looks almost good enough to eat.
What is that called?
Baba Urum Flambe.
Well, I hope that means it's plenty hot, because, boy, howdy, it's cold out there.
Why, Heath, it's balmy out compared to what it is up at that timber camp right now.
How about it, Heath? You want to go back?
Well, maybe in the spring. Now that that flume's finished, I'd kind of like to see it in operation.
Come spring, we'll have enough timber to build a new sawmill.
How about some more brandy?
That's the most beautiful sound in the world to me, my husband's laughter. I'm very grateful to you.
I'm grateful, too. I almost lost a son, but he found himself, and he's back home, and he's safe. Now then, everyone.
Matt?
This is just for you, Matt and Cinder.
Get up there.
Yeah.
To greet us, baby.
Think so?
Yeah.
What are you doing knocking down our fence?
Whoa there, Miss Buffalo Bill. There wasn't any gate.
Well, of course there isn't a gate. You're in the Barkley Ranch and you're trespassing.
Don't try to stomp me with that beast of yours. Look, why don't we talk this over like gentlemen?
There is nothing to talk about except get those wagons off our land, and I mean it.
Your land, is it? Would you like to take a look at a map I've got that says it isn't?
Map? This is the Barkley Ranch.
I don't want to argue with you, but from now on, this is the Kilkenny Farm. Now, get out.
You're not going to put that sign up on our fence.
Won't I now? Just watch.
I'm telling you for the last time. This is Barkley land, and I'm Audra Barkley.
Oh, now, I thought you were Miss Buffalo Bill. Look, I'm deaf in one ear, and I don't believe in wasting time talking to little girls.
Oh, stop it now. Look what she's doing to Jimmy.
Oh, now. I'm a peaceful man, Miss Buffalo Bill. Now, we bought this land and we intend to occupy it. This time, I'm not fooling with you.
Take your hands off of me! Ouch! Stop it! Oh, brothers will fix you for this!
All right, miss.
You can't
On your...
Oh, what happened to you?
Horse went lame.
Where?
Up by Spring Meadow.
And you walked? That's 10 miles.
More like 100. Boy, howdy. You know, I think I got blisters in places that I didn't know I had places.
Well, I guess you won't crave going dancing tonight, huh?
Nope. Got my whole evening planned. Going to bed.
Horse bad?
Just pulled a tendon. He'll be all right with a little rest.
Yeah.
And so will I. Wonder what's wrong with her.
Oh, hey, Audra, what's wrong with you?
You'll find out soon enough.
What'll we find out soon enough?
I can't find the keys to the gun cabinet. Have you seen them?
Got them right here in my pocket.
Oh, may I have them, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Heath, I swear if I didn't know better, I'd say it seems like maybe Audra planned to shoot somebody.
Yeah. Who do you suppose she's gonna shoot?
No idea.
Think it's anybody we know?
I think we better find out.
Let's do it.
Who do you plan to shoot, Miss Barkley?
I don't know his name.
What'd he do?
Never mind, but he's going to take that sign down.
Sign? What sign?
Kilkenny Farms or something. And then he and the rest of those squatters
Squatters?
moved right into our land, knocked down our fence.
Are you serious?
Bet I am.
Sure is on our land?
The north pasture. Pulled down the fence and started making themselves to home.
Tell them to get off.
I did. And then this man, this big ape, told me it was his land.
Sure don't sound like squatters. They wouldn't sit down that close to the ranch. It's not their way.
No, it isn't. Sounds like somebody made a mistake.
Well, they made a mistake, all right.
Whoa, easy, little sister. Now, they didn't harm you, and this is not your job.
But they did harm me. That big ape,
He what?
he hit me.
Hit you?
You mean he took a punch at you?
He didn't punch me, but he hit me.
Oh, where'd he hit you?
I don't see any marks.
You won't.
Oh.
That isn't funny.
Not if you don't think so.
You think we should go over there and help Audra shoot those people? I mean, it just wouldn't be right for us to stand around and let somebody injure our sister's dignity, now would it?
No, I wouldn't.
No. All right, I'll go along with you. See what all this is about, all right?
There they are. Try to make him take that down.
Hey, Booker, which way are you going? What do you think you're doing?
I don't know who you are, but I'm Nick Barkley, and you're on the Barkley Ranch. You're trespassing on private property. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Did you hear what he said?
Hello yourselves. I'm John James Callahan. We bought this land.
Bought it?
Right.
Well, now, isn't that interesting? We own it, and we never sold it.
I'm afraid there's been a mistake.
Well, on your part, maybe. I've got a bill of sale.
He's the one, Nick. Pulled me off my horse and hit me.
Oh, Miss Buffalo Bill, I do apologize, and I mean it. But, well, when you started to hit me with that little whip of yours, I just up and did it. I'm sorry.
Heath, put that fence back up. Just leave enough room for the wagons to get out. And, Callahan, is it? I don't know what you're trying to pull, but I want to see all those wagons loaded and you out of here.
Do you? By what authority?
Two things. One, we own it. Two, if you don't, I'll throw you out.
Oh, will you now? That's a sight I'd like to see. But before you try, would you like to look at some documents I've got?
No, all I want to look at is the tail end of your wagons through that fence.
Leave that alone.
Take that sign down.
Leave it alone.
Miss, if you'd just be so kind.
Here now, up. Stop threatening my niece.
Wait a minute now. How would you like a punch in the nose for your trouble?
Well, I didn't come here to cause you no trouble, but you are on private land.
Do you want to fight or don't you? Come on.
Hey, Callahan, or whatever your name is. This is no nonsense for young girls and old men. You're on private property. You're breaking the law. I've heard about you hooligan squatters.
Oh, would you mind repeating that?
Clean your ears out. I said I've heard about you hooligan squatters.
Will you step down here and take your licking, or do you want me to drag you off?
You name it. And you'll get it.
Down here, man. And I think I'm going to enjoy this.
Heath, hold this.
Nick.
They might steal horses, too.
Jimmy! Jimmy Callahan, you stop this fighting. You're a man grown and you ought to have better sense.
Ma, get out of the way. This man is trying to kick us off land that we bought, and I'm going to clout his head for him.
Oh, the land you bought?
That's right.
That's the biggest barefaced lie I've ever heard.
Are you calling my mother a liar?
I'm calling you a liar.
Ma, get out of the way.
Stop it now, both of you. Listen to me. Show him the papers, Jimmy.
Ma, I tried to. He don't want to see him.
Don't you want to see the map and the bill of sale? We're honest folk. Came all the way from County Kilkenny. Go get the papers, Jimmy.
Go get them. Let's settle this.
Mr. Barkley, we bought this land in San Francisco from a land company, the Aquila Land Company. I'm sure you've heard of them.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Nick, you don't suppose, with Mother and Jared in San Francisco, they could have sold some of the land.
Well, how could they? They would have told us.
They would have wired us.
All right. Bill of sale, land map, contract to the deed.
Now who's lying?
As a matter of fact, you're trespassing on our land if you'll check your maps. Those fence lines should be 3 miles back.
This is not a deed. It's a contract of sale. There's not a Barkley name on it. Doesn't mean a thing.
Oh, it doesn't, does it? We paid hard cash for this legal. And right here is where we're going to stay. You understand?
I think you better understand something. This land didn't come cheap. We paid for it with sweat and pain and a quantity of blood. It's ours.
And not this piece of paper or your say-so is going to make us give up 1 inch of it.
Check your own maps.
I intend to do just that. And also check our survey line.
I still say you're a bunch of hooligan squatters.
When you come back, bring your apology wrapped in a blue ribbon.
Let's go.
Nick, I better put up this fence.
You leave the fence alone.
Well, now, if our cattle get through here and down into the swamp, you're going to pay for them. Now, that's $30 on the hoof per head. And I don't think you can afford that.
All right, we don't want your cattle. Put up the fence, but leave a gate so we're not hindered.
See ya. I'm going to need a hammer. Miss, would you get me a hammer?
Don't be giving Sharon orders. Maybe I'll put up the fence myself.
Well, no order. I thought I'd ask her kind of politely.
And don't be using your polite tricks on us either. We've heard about landlords like you who would steal the pennies off the eyes of a dead man.
I'm going to need a shovel, too, because I got a lot of holes to dig.
Sharon, why do you suppose the English are such an uncommon rude and argumentative race? Tell me, did you ever think of changing your name to Sweeney or Brannigan? People would like you a whole lot more.
Sweeney? Brannigan? No, I wouldn't want to claim the honor of being Irish. But there's one thing I always did admire about the Irish, and that's their toleration of all us other races less fortunate.
Did you now? Well, what do you think of that?
You landlords are all alike. You don't understand what it means to be without.
That's where you're wrong, miss. Dead wrong. Now, let's stop jawing around here and get me that hammer and shovel, or I just may let you put up that fence.
What are you looking for, Mr. Nick? I'm looking for the north section maps. I want to check our property line. Where's Audra?
Miss Alfie seemed upset. She went to bed.
You seen Heath?
No, sir. He hasn't returned as yet.
Well, where is he? Shouldn't have taken him more than an hour to put up that fence.
Is this the map you're looking for?
No. That's the section across the swampland, the old Larrabee homestead.
Oh,
blast it! All right. Silas, will you help me clean it up?
All right.
Well, now, where have you been? Did you stop off someplace?
Oh, putting up a fence takes a little longer than tearing it down.
The post holes were already dug. All you had to do was
made a gate, too. That took a while. Then I thought it was a good idea to kind of stick around and get acquainted with the people.
Why?
Wanted to find out if they were really squatters.
Oh, they're squatters, all right. An elephant in a bathtub couldn't be plainer.
Nick, I know I may have mentioned this before, but isn't it just possible that while Jared is in San Francisco selling some of our beef, he might have dealt off some of our land?
Without saying anything to us?
Sell off the best land we've got?
I don't say he did, I just say he might have.
Do you realize that that piece of land controls the stream that waters the whole north pasture, and if anyone fouls it up or diverts it, we're gonna have to haul water in here on our backs?
Well, I don't guess Jared would sell it then, unless he had good reason to.
Well, he hasn't. And by the time he gets back, there'll be a dozen more families squatting right alongside the ones that are already there.
I don't think there'll be any more coming.
Well, now, what makes you say that?
I don't think they're squatters.
Huh. Well, what are they, then?
I think maybe they're just good, honest people that maybe made a mistake.
Maybe made a mistake. Heath, I thought you'd been around.
Well, I've seen a few things.
Well, not nearly enough. Nobody accidentally stumbles onto somebody else's fenced-off land.
If you're looking for the north section boundary map, Jared took it with him.
Took it to San Francisco? Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I suppose it's because you didn't ask me.
Heath, whose side are you on, anyway?
Now, look, Nick, there's no use getting yourself worked up into a lather. We'll just take a ride down to Stockton and send a telegram to Jared. Clear the whole thing right up, wouldn't it there, Silas?
Seemed to me it would. You want me to put all these away, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, put them away.
Sorry, folks, but I can't give you no credit. I'd like to have your business, but it's got to be cash.
Well, there'll be plenty of cash once we get started.
I've got a sign inside that says, "In God we trust, everyone else pays cash." Now, I put that sign up after a lot of experience.
Come on, Uncle Jimmy. He's as bad as all the others.
Oh, beg your pardon. Oh, you assaulting people on the street.
Well, what are you talking about? You bumped into me.
Never mind, don't apologize. I know you Barkleys. Swindlers. You sell a man land and then you try to snatch it back from him.
All right, get out of my way.
Oh, am I blocking your path, Mr. Barkley? Excuse me.
Listen, Callahan, I'm going to send a telegram to San Francisco to check up on this so-called bill of sale and contract of yours.
Then you'll probably want to buy me a drink. But no, thank you. My grandfather, God rest his soul, gave me 2 bits of advice. 1, never burn down an orphanage, and 2, never take a drink with an Englishman. Come, Sharon.
There's your so-called decent people. Come on.
No, you don't need me to help you send that telegram, do you?
No, why?
Oh, got something on to do.
Why don't you go over to Big Annie's and get yourself in any trouble, you hear me? We gotta get back.
Me? I don't know what you mean. I'm going down here to the music store. Get me some sheet music.
Yeah, and I'm a trained bear, too. Should be an answer on this right away, Fred. How long does it take to get to San Francisco?
Oh, no time at all.
That's fine. As soon as you get a reply, see to it it's delivered out to the ranch, will you?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Well, is that a fact? Busted down the fences. Well, it seems to me, Nick, the first thing you ought to do is tell the sheriff. And then file an injunction. Get papers served on it.
Fred, just send the wire. Please.
Send the wire.
Well, there must be another store. Hey, that's our wagon.
Mr. Boswell here decided to change his mind about your credit.
You did?
On Mr. Barkley's guarantee.
Take that out of there. We don't want any of it.
Well, I thought this is the least we could do.
You can take your guarantee and keep it to yourself. We don't want any of it.
Young lady, all Mr. Barkley is trying to do
When his kind give, they want something in return. I've had experience. We don't want your guarantee or nothing else.
Now, take it easy. You don't have to mistrust everybody. I won't say I know how to give a gift, but you don't know how to accept one.
I know you fine landowners, and that's enough. Now take your filthy food out of our wagon. We don't want it.
Do what she says, lad. Take it out.
Hello, Mother. How was the shopping?
Oh, just fine.
Oh.
And this is for you.
What?
Oh, I know it's not your birthday. It's just something extra.
Well.
What's the telegram?
Oh, that's from Nick. He's got some squatters. They claim they bought part of the north section.
We didn't sell any, did we?
No, as a matter of fact, I'm trying to lease more land. We could use it. The Jumping Frog of Calaveras County by Mark Twain.
He wants an answer.
All right. Come on, we'll go down to the telegraph office, and then I promise to take you to Monty's. Their pepper steak is famous.
If I know your brother, he's a lot hotter than that pepper steak right now. He helped your father put up those fences. Jared, maybe we'd better skip dinner.
You want to go back to the ranch?
And in a hurry.
All right, then. That's what we'll do.
What does he think he's doing?
Why don't you ask him?
Hi. Nice weather.
What are you doing?
It's good growing weather.
Those are weeds.
Well, these are lamb's quarters. You cook them same as spinach.
Oh, are they good to eat?
We don't need someone telling us to eat weeds.
You know, Callahan, when I was a kid, we used to eat cactus with the spines all peeled off and boiled. This and cornmeal mush, and pretty glad to get it.
That's not a bad idea, lad. We might just have ourselves some of these greens for supper. Would you be good enough to show Sharon which ones they are?
Be glad to.
She's a homely girl, but she's got a lot of fine qualities. We have trouble finding young men to call on her.
Oh, shut up, Uncle Jimmy. You're not funny.
No, what did I say wrong? I was just going to suggest that you might like to stay for supper.
Well, for a homely girl, she's uncommonly pretty. I'd be obliged to say.
Oh, well, I'll have Ma set an extra place.
What you're doing here.
Picking lamb's quarters.
For them?
This telegram proves you're all trespassing. Hey, you don't know Tessie Potts here. Come back there. All right, move those wagons out of here.
You're all squatters. Now, this telegram says you've got no sale, no deed, no contract, no nothing. Now, load up these wagons and get.
But we paid the man. He signed the deed.
We ought to know our own money, and we paid it out.
Took us 5 years to save it.
I don't see how your telegram proves anything.
Maybe you're part of a Yankee swindle, but it's not going to work with us.
This telegram says it will.
Oh, I could have sent me own self a telegram.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Barkley, the English landlord. Good day to you, sir.
Callahan, if you had any sense, you'd have all these people load up these wagons and get out. Your whole Blarney game is over.
Is it now? And the Irish peasant is swindled again by the English lord upon his fine horse. Barkley, lad, would you like me to part your hair with a spade, or will you step down here and find out right now if you're man enough to throw anybody out of anywhere?
Callahan, you don't know how much I'm going to enjoy this.
All right now, everybody stand back. You hear me? Stand back now and give them a little air. Let's form a ring here. Form a ring. There'll be plenty of room for the contestants to fight. You hear me? Now stand back. All right, gentlemen. Come here. Observe the Marquis of Queensbury rules. Aye.
clumsy, aren't you?
Jimmy, get up. Come on. On your feet. On your feet. On your feet. Again, Jimmy. Hit him.
Come on. Jimmy, get him. Jimmy, boy, you've got to watch his right and his left.
Thank you.
Oh. Come on. In now, watch
Enough of what?
Are you licked?
Oh, you'll never see that day. Yeah, I'm licked. What are you doing, rested?
I'll show you who's resting.
Get him, Jimmy.
Watch your land.
Jimmy, come on, boy. Come on, Jimmy. Come on, get on your feet, boy.
There you go.
Come on. Good.
Come on, you quitter. Stand up and fight.
I'm gonna throw you out of here, squatter. Watch it. Oh, watch it, Jimmy, watch it. Get him now. Come on, Jimmy. Hit him, Jimmy, he's weakening. Come on. Come on. Come on, get him. No! Jimmy, come on. Come on, Jimmy. Come on. Come on. Come on, Jimmy. Come on now, on your feet. Come on, again. Jimmy.
Well, you whipped him, big brother. Now, I think we'd better get back to the range.
Where does he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
That's been a real nice morning. I'll see you now here.
Squatters trespassing. Suggest injunction to remove them. Aquila Land Company Fraudulent Corporation. Jared Barkley, San Francisco.
Don't mean a thing. Anybody can send a telegram. We paid our money and we'll stand our ground. We ain't moving.
Nick, I don't want to keep getting in your hair. I know you're doing what you think is right.
Then don't.
Nick, you've got to let me say what I think. Now, there's one difference between you and me. I know what it is to be poor, and you don't.
Oh, now, are you trying to tell me that being poor is an excuse to steal?
No.
Did you ever have to steal, Heath?
No, but I've come pretty close to it when I couldn't eat mud anymore.
But you didn't, did you?
No, and neither have those people.
Now, we just don't see eye to eye, do we?
Nick, if you'll just stop and listen one minute.
Stay out of this.
Nick, sometimes you get mad and do things you're sorry for.
Like what? Working my guts out to build this place up so someone can come along and squat on it, steal it out from under our noses? I'm warning you, Heath, you stay out of this.
Nick, like Jared said in the telegram, get a court order. Talk to the sheriff. Nick, there are women and children out there.
Oh, no, thank you, Heath. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. You're telling me now that I'm gonna go around shooting down women and children.
I don't mean that, but it could happen.
Either you stay out of this or I'm gonna bust the rest of these knuckles in your face.
I wish you would, Nick.
I didn't mean that.
Callahan.
What do you want?
Callahan, what I'm going to tell you is about as true and sensible as a man can get.
We're not leaving. We paid our money, and we're honest people.
Callahan, that's Nick and some of our men coming. And they've got guns. Now, if you want to see this land fertilized with somebody's blood, then don't listen to me.
What is it you've got to say?
Look, Callahan, I believe you. I know you paid your money. Somebody swindled you, but it wasn't us. Now, Nick is not a bad man, but right now he's mad.
Well, I'm mad, too. Why should I believe what you tell me?
If somebody starts shooting, there could be somebody dead. You, Nick, Sharon, the children. Is it worth that?
All right, Callahan, the fooling's over. Load up these wagons.
Callahan, please.
Callahan, tell your friend to get out of the way.
Put that shotgun away. You're not going rabbit hunting. It'd only blow up on you if you tried to use it.
All right, we'll go. It won't be the first time poor people lost land they were trying to feed themselves on. I want you to be proud of yourself, Nick Barkley. You've got thousands of acres as far as your eyes can see. And there are 6 families here that have lost all their money, got no place to go. And when winter comes, the children are going to be crying from the hunger and the cold. You be proud of that.
Nick?
Yeah? What do you want?
Why don't you talk to Heath?
You can tell Heath to take a jump for himself.
One of you ought to give in.
Well, it's not gonna be me. You stay out of this.
Would you like a cup of coffee, Mr. Nick?
Well, now, what is this? Am I getting sympathy or something? I threw some squatters off our land.
Well, nobody's giving you sympathy, Nick. It's just maybe you're going too far.
Too far? You're the one that came screaming for action when you got your backside paddled. Well, now, what are you waiting around here for?
Nothing.
I guess you think I should do something for these people, huh?
I didn't say that.
Silas, if you say to me, Mr. Nick, your father would have done such and such and such and such, I'm going to take you and that dust rag and throw you both right out the window.
Go ahead. It's your wonder. I'm not telling you what to do, Mr. Nick.
How much you aren't?
Do whatever you please. That's the way I always do.
Silas, what have I said to you to take the wagon and throw a couple of sides of beef in it along with a couple of sacks of flour and take it out to them tomorrow?
I wouldn't fuss about it none. That's up to you, Mr. Nick.
Then do it! And get out of here, I'm busy.
All right, Mr. Nick. I guess you know your own mind.
Jimmy, we've got to do one thing or another. We can't just sit here.
You made a great bargain for us, finding that land agent. Now look.
You did your best, son. And I'm proud you stopped the fighting. We're law-abiding people.
The law belongs to them like the Barkleys. The rich make their own laws.
Not all of them, Jimmy. There's no law says we can't be together. Can't trust each other.
Shall we pack up? They want to know.
Everybody. Nick must have gotten my wire.
Not even Silas. Well, they're just not anxious to see us, that's all.
The least Nick could have done is left word at the station.
Nick, Heath, Audra.
Silas?
Really? Oh.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
A dirty trick on it,
Which way, Jimmy? Which way do we head?
No, we're not going to go. We paid our money and we're not going to move. We've come 7,000 miles and we've been duped and pushed around and laughed at, and now we're going to fight. Give me that shotgun, Hogan. The Barkleys have got more land than they can use, and we are not going to starve.
Jimmy, don't be saying something we'll all be sorry
Now, what's
for.
the use of running, Ma? We're going to stay right here, all of us. And if they want to come and throw us out, they're going to have to fight every man, woman, and child with pitchforks, stones, and clubs. If they want to fight, we'll give them a good one. Yeah. Give me that horse, Hogan.
Jimmy! You're right, Jimmy. We're right behind you to a man. We're right behind you.
If we don't want to move, they can't move us. Now get yourselves clubs and stay in the wagon. And if they bring me back on a board, continue the fight. Where's Nick Barkley?
Mr. Barkley is...
Get out of my way. Where is he?
Silas, did you see the package with the... I didn't know we had a visitor.
I'm looking for Nick Barkley.
Do you always come calling with a shotgun, Mr.
Callahan. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Who are you?
I'm Nick's mother, and this is my home you have just broken into.
Well, this is between me and him. Where is he?
Do you plan to shoot him?
I plan to stand up for what's right and not be pushed around.
Mr. Callahan, Nick would put a half a dozen holes right through you by the time you got that shotgun cocked and ready. Now, you don't want that, do you?
Maybe he wouldn't, maybe he wouldn't. But we're not going to be pushed off land that we paid our hard-earned cash for.
I see. Silas, would you take the gentleman's hat? Perhaps I can get you something, a glass of port or tea.
And he can't hide behind his mother's skirts, either.
Well, you don't want to shoot me, do you?
I only want what's right.
Silas, do we have any Irish whiskey? Perhaps Mr. Callahan would join me in a glass. A gentleman wouldn't refuse.
Don't be using your grand manners with me. This is no business for a woman to be meddling in, if you pardon my saying so.
Well, perhaps it would have been better if a woman had meddled from the beginning. Now, I'm very sorry for what's happened, Mr.
You're
Callahan.
sorry? Then why is he pushing 6 families out to starve?
My son Jared checked the land agent who swindled you when we were in San Francisco. He's wanted by the law, and you have absolutely no legal rights to occupy...
Callahan! Get out of this house!
Oh, put down that ridiculous gun. Nick, stop shouting when I'm speaking to a guest.
Mother, that's a squatter I was telling you about.
Nick, come down here. You don't want Mr. Callahan to shoot me while you're gone, do you?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Barkley. I came here to shoot your son, not you.
Oh, well, then you'll want to drop before the serious work. Sit down, Mr. Callahan.
Your health, Mrs. Barkley. And bad luck to your son.
Callahan, get out of this house. What kind of a hooligan are you busting into a man's home?
Nick, apologize to our guest.
That'll be the day.
Such rudeness. How do you put up with it, Mrs. Barkley, from your own side?
Callahan, either you get out of here or I'll throw you out.
Nick, you sit over there. I said...
Your health. May it all be bad.
Oh, you both could do one sensible thing.
What's that?
Stop insulting each other.
You'll pardon me, Mrs. Barkley. You're a fine woman, but there's lots about your son needs insulting.
I don't think that's very funny, Mr. Callahan. I'm trying hard to make sense out of this thing.
Sense? You'll never make sense with that bull-headed hooligan.
Nick, please. Now, you must find the man who took your money and get it back. Until then, tell your people they can stay where they are.
Stay where they are?
Well, that's a decent offer, Mrs. Barkley. You're a fine woman.
Stay where they are, and Callahan will go off hunting this swindler of his if one ever existed, and that'll be the last we'll see of him for 6 months. And then we'll never get rid of them. And if they stay here long enough, they get squatters' rights, and every court in the country will back them up.
No, they won't. And, Mr. Callahan, when you do get your money back, buy some other property. Our land is not for sale. Is that clear?
Fair enough. I promise you we'll leave as soon as we get our legs under us.
Good. Now, shake hands.
With him? No.
I want you both to go together and find that man.
Together? Now, Mother, what sense is there in that?
Where's your respect for your mother?
Shake hands.
Well, do what your mother says.
Cut out the snoring, will you? You're snoring.
Who's snoring?
You're snoring.
No,
Sound like somebody strangling a sick moose.
Oh.
Why don't you both shut up?
Quiet in here. Well, what's going on?
Well, conductor, this Irish ditch digger shooting off his face.
Any more out of you and I'll throw you off the train.
Oh, now, wait a minute, conductor. He's the one that started yelling.
Hey, you keep out of it.
You smell like Patty's pig to boot.
Your mother said no fighting, but I can't take that.
Then don't.
You start anything and I'll throw you both off the train. Ah! Now,
You in what army?
Quiet. Here.
Louts.
It's the same clerk, the one that introduced me to him. Hello there, Fogarty. How's your mother's bunions? Oh, you remember me, don't you? John James Callahan. I was here a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yes, Mr. Hallahan.
No, Callahan. My friend and I'd like a room. By the way, you haven't seen our friend Powell J. Welch recently, have you?
Powell J. Welch?
You introduced me to him. Is he still upstairs?
No, he isn't. He checked out. Well, if you just signed the register, I don't know anything about him.
You don't you? I think you do, and I'm here to get him.
He's not here, and don't you go starting any trouble.
I think you're in cahoots with him, skinning greenhorns out of their money.
Callahan, why don't we call the police and get a warrant?
I don't need any help. He's upstairs, and I'm going to get him.
The man you're looking for ain't here, so don't start nothing.
Oh, he ain't he? Now, you wouldn't be trying to stop an honest man from laying his hands on that lying swindler, would you?
He's upstairs. Let's get him.
Well, well, well. Now, if this isn't a pretty picture.
Oh, let's not have any of that. Just get us out of here, huh?
I was just a little surprised, to say the least.
It wasn't his fault, it was me.
Well, don't you take all the credit.
Well, if you'd bothered to ask me, I could have told you that the whole town has been looking for your land swindler, and they've already picked him up in Sacramento.
What about our money?
Well, there, I'm afraid there's no hope. He spent it all. Faro, roulette.
Can't get any of it back?
Not a red cent.
Well, come on. Our lawyers paid our fine. Come on.
I can't go back and face him. It was me got him into it, and every blasted thing I've done is wrong.
You tried, man. Now they can't hang a man for trying.
I'm a dumb, rotten clod.
You know, I think you're right.
All right, let's get ready to move.
Heading the wrong way?
Well, says who? We're getting off your property.
Callahan, there's some land as dry as a bone. We can't even get a buzzard to live on it. It's about 70 miles south of here. All we do is pay taxes on it. But with irrigation, all I'm trying to say is you can farm it. That is, if you think you're man enough. But with hard work, you might be able to make something on it.
Don't do us no favors.
Land's no good the way it is.
People know how to work, just might make something out of it.
Well, what about it?
Well, it's kind of charity, no matter how you put it.
How Irish can an Irishman be?
Is this your mother's idea?
No, it's his. Maybe it's about time you stop being poor proud and learn how to accept something.
We accept. And we thank you.
You want to go along and help him get settled?
Love to.
Give him the map. Callahan, see if you can find it without getting on the wrong side of someone's fence, huh?
The next time this sign goes up, it's going to stay up for good.